Welcome to She Trusts Herself, the podcast for women who are learning to trust themselves, honor their inner voice, and choose themselves without guilt. I'm your host, Tashleen, author, guest speaker, and certified human design reader. Together, we'll explore overcoming self-doubt, building deep self-trust, personal growth, and stepping into the next version of yourself with confidence. I am joined by the incredible Mackenzie. Not only is she an incredible human being, she is the founder of the Olive Beauty Bar, a space created to help women feel confident and cared for through holistic beauty treatments. What began as a small idea has grown into a flourishing business built on community, self-care, and growth. Mackenzie's passionate about sharing her journey and showing others that growth in business and life doesn't have to be perfect, just intentional. And I absolutely love your philosophy behind your business and also the sacred space that you create for every single client that you serve. And just before I get into asking you some questions, Mackenzie and I did a human design reading, and we found out that she was a projector, and it made so much sense in terms of the philosophy that you have behind your business and the fundamental aspects of your chart and who you are. And I just thought, wow, it's so cool that you know exactly how you can be of service to others and you hold that space and you know that about yourself. And I felt like it was such a cool way to solidify you're on the right path and the business that you're growing is what's meant for you.
Yeah, everything you told me in our session together was the head on the nail, like 100%. And also like really reaffirmed my whole structure with how I do everything in my business.
I know at the moment you're going through a season of change, and I feel during our session, you really got that opportunity to give yourself permission to take those breaks and to know that the way that you're pivoting is working and serving you, and you'll still be able to serve the clients the way that you want to as well. That was a really cool outcome from that.
It was, yeah. And definitely gave me, like you said, that permission to kind of step back and I can still be the best I can, but also not have to work as hard for it, if that makes sense. That was
Absolutely.
very reassuring.
I think that's one of the common things that happens a lot is when you go into business for yourself, whether you're just starting out or you're a bit further along in your journey, is that you have to keep doing more and more. It's really hard to then take a step back from that, whether you need it from like a physical, mental, or emotional perspective, and go, I actually need to take a step back from my business or maybe reduce the hours that I'm available for myself, because hustle culture tells us we have to go and go and go and keep doing more to get more clients, to get more money, to be more visible on social media, whatever it may be. And I think that's really amazing that you've honored yourself with that and gone, no, I know what I need to do right now.
100% that, but also the fact that like everything is so easily on social media now that if you're not putting yourself out there on social media, then there's that little voice in the back of your head that's like, oh, you're not going to get seen, you're not going to get clients, you're not going to get views. And that becomes a part of that hustle culture where you have to just go, go, go. But then I woke up one morning, I was like, wow, this is really tiring. And I've got a little one at home. I'm drained all the time and I don't want to be like this. So yeah, I woke up and I said, I'm going to take a step back. And honestly, the only thing it's affected is my views, but it hasn't affected my clients, my income, or anything like that. So I took a risk and it paid off.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so glad that it's working for you. And I think that's the thing. We go, oh, the more views that we have or the more followers we have on social media, the more booked you'll be. And yes, you might be getting more eyes, but that doesn't necessarily equate to more clients coming in through the door.
Yeah, thankfully, a lot of my clients is like word of mouth based. So I am very lucky.
That's a testament to you being a master at your craft and everyone wanting to share that with people rather than keep you a secret, as I'm sure it's very tempting to do when you find someone that's very good at what they do.
Yes, that's true.
I just want to take it back a few steps. And Mackenzie and I met at an event earlier this year, and Mackenzie shared with me then that she used to be employed, and there was a turning point where she decided that she no longer wanted to do that. If you're happy to take us back to when you first had the idea to go into business for yourself and what the thought process was with that.
It all started back in 2022. I was working Tuesday to Fridays in a daycare center, and the unfortunately daycares at the moment are very understaffed. Not by choice, obviously. It's just not many people want to work in daycare. So I was working long hours, and it just got to a point where I was getting sick all the time because the kids are coming in sick, and you know how kids are, they cough in your face and sneeze in your eyeballs. The turning point for me was like, I can't do it for the rest of my life. So I have to figure out what I really am passionate about. And I've always loved beauty. I've always loved waxing, doing my nails and like lashes and all that. I came home one day to my partner and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't see myself doing it in the future. And I honestly do not see myself having children, sending them to daycare and then going to daycare as a worker myself and raising other people's children while my own child is getting raised by someone else. And I'm not saying that's for all parents at all, but my own personal beliefs, and because I'm a stay-at-home mum most of the time, I have the opportunity to have him home, which I'm grateful for. I do know that some parents don't get that option. I'm very lucky that he was like, okay, well, between the two of us, we can survive and everything, but you're someone who has to be doing something constantly. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I love, I love keeping busy. So he's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, think about it. What do you want to do? So I slept on it and I was like, I really want to get into beauty. And he's like, right, cool. What are the steps? Like, what can you do? So I was like, right, I'm going to research it and, you know, this and that and do everything I can before I lock down somewhere. And I found a online school. So I was able to pick and choose what I wanted to do. So I started off with brows and lash extensions and like lash lifts and tints and that kind of thing. And then I did that for about a year and I was like, wow, I'm really burnt out working, for example, like 8 to 5 and then 5:30 to 10:30 as like my beauty business after my already day job. So I stopped for a little bit and I took a break, and it was good to have a break because I still had something to fall back on as my main job at the moment. But I was like, okay, I'm burnt out of both. And
Yeah.
then we found out I was pregnant with our son. So I was like, wow, okay, I've really got to buckle down, finish my studies, do everything I need to do to get out of the day job and work around my family so I can still be there for my family, but also provide if need be, which very lucky isn't really needed. So I'm very lucky in that aspect. Yeah. So that was the main thing. And then I stuck out at daycare. And then while I was on maternity leave, I was talking to my mum about body sculpting because I've seen it pop up on my Facebook a lot. And I was like, wow, this body sculpting looks really amazing. Like, God, if I could do it, I would do my whole body. She was like, oh my God, I literally saved a screenshot of it to show you to add on to your business. And I was like, no way.
Oh,
So I was very lucky. And then I told my partner and I was like, look, I really want to do this. It's up and coming. Like, not many people do it in WA. There's a few
yeah.
places, but it's quite widespread. So it's not an overly saturated market like lash extensions is. And then he was like, okay, I'll pay for it. So he paid for the whole course and I got everything. And I did while I was on maternity leave. So I think I just had my baby then. And I finished all my course study work within a few weeks.
It's really good that you're doing what's right for you. And that was the motivation that you needed. And isn't it wild how having a kid really lights something inside you in terms of your goals? It's like you have a non negotiable deadline. Like you literally have to get things done before they arrive. I think it helps as well, like with the transition of becoming a mum when you've got something there that you're really passionate about that will
Mhm.
motivate you to keep going for yourself, but also for your family as well. And the fact that you've got such a supportive partner, that your mum also saw the ad and went, hey, I thought of you. Like, that's so beautiful. I just love how there's so many synchronicities and invisible strings in terms of where you were and how you got to where you are now. As a follow-on question to all of that, how did it feel when you moved into your new house and you were able to set up in your own space?
Oh, it was an incredible feeling because prior to that, we were living with my partner's parents. We're very lucky that we're able to live with them while we're building. But it also, like, it made it a bit harder for my business to grow because I had to be only mobile because there's no other room there wasn't enough room in the house. There was too many people, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
it was a bad thing. I love them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was only mobile, and that feel like that restricted me quite a bit. But I knew that if I stuck it out long enough, then I would be able to have a place, like a room. And that was my dream as well, like to have a fully set up room, to be able to walk from the lounge room into my room and have clients ready and waiting, or not having to like drive there and then wait for them. And half the time I drive there and they weren't even home yet, so I have to wait.
Oh,
And it was
no.
just like, yeah, it was crazy. And you meet some crazy people too. Having like being able to like move in, like having our own home as well at such a young age and with a baby was already quite like, whoa, we did it. We're adults. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But then having like setting up the house and being able to walk into this room and set it up to like the way I want it, and then try all different paint colors and have like my aftercare little shelf all set up. Like, that was just the moment that I stood back. I was like, wow, I've done it. I don't know if I can peak anymore.
An incredible moment though, and the fact that you could be so intentional with the space that you're creating for your clients. I didn't realize as well that you had started out mobile, but it makes sense. But that would add even more to the burnout because you're not even at home for those hours after you've been at your 9 to 5. You're out and about still and traveling. And I'm guessing that you would travel to a few clients during those windows as well.
I would try, but majority of my services was lash extensions those early
Yeah.
days. I don't do them anymore, thank God, like personal preference. So I would drive there. Sometimes I have to wait around half an hour for them to get home, and then I'd have to cart in all my stuff. So it was like my beauty bags, my lamp, my chair, my mobile massage table, set it up. And then by that time, it's already been 15 minutes. And then they'd always want the biggest, bushiest lashes. And that takes up to 3 hours to do it properly
Oh,
and
wow.
safely. So by then, I'm like, no more. I gotta go home. I gotta sleep. I gotta be up at 6. Like, get me out of here.
I imagine that would be challenging as well because even though you're doing the thing that you love doing, you'd probably end up starting to resent it a little bit
Mhm.
because of how you had to do it to begin with.
Yeah, and also the quality of the lashes I brought was always top notch because I wanted only the best for my clients. I always brought extra sensitive glue so no one would have a reaction. And it just got to the point where I was spending more than I was making every single time I had a client. I wasn't earning anything back. And then also on top of fuel as well,
Mm,
it got to a point where told my partner, I was like, I'm not doing lashes anymore. Cut that out. That is gone. And I thought I'd lose quite a lot of clients, but I'm very lucky that my clients at the time, like in the area I was in, were very loyal. So they were like, "Oh, that's fine. Just book me in for brows instead." So I wasn't losing out on that much money at the time, which is great.
that's amazing. And again, I think that's a testament to you and the space that you hold for them as well, where they still want to hang out and spend money with you. It's just in a different capacity.
Hmm.
And when you first made that decision to stop doing lash extensions and focus predominantly on brows and the other services that you had at that time, how did you feel about it, like internally versus how you thought others would react?
Internally, I was relieved because 3.5 hours, you're bent over someone, like my back was always sore. I'd, come home and like, oh my God, I can't move. I can't stretch out. So I was very relieved in that sense. But then, like, I thought potential clients and my clients and everyone around me would have thought, oh, maybe she's giving up because she knows she's not good enough. Or maybe she's
Oh,
given up because she doesn't get enough clients or people complain or things like that. But I didn't have anyone actually say it to my face, so I must have been fine. It was just me
yeah.
overthinking.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting the stories that we tell ourselves as well, even though we know we're making the right decision for us and it's going to work out in the long term? We're so concerned because we care about our clients and making sure that they don't feel like they're being ripped off or whatever the case may be. In terms of the break that you took once you realized you weren't wanting to burn yourself out anymore and when you moved in and set up your space, was that a long period of time or was it like a couple of months?
Oh, I wanna say it was a good maybe, like, 7 to 10 months, maybe even just under a year. I can't remember exactly, but it
Yeah.
was, like, quite a chunk of time. And once we moved in, I made a bunch of flyers with all my services that I offer. So facials, body sculpting, brows, lash lifts, like all that kind of thing. And I dropped them locally in all the letterboxes in the estate. Well, not all of them because there's a lot, but like at least 400 worth. And
Yeah.
through that, my business just picked up so quick. And then through those clients, word of mouth, and then just kept traveling.
That's incredible. So you kind of had to start from scratch again when you moved into your house, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. But honestly, it didn't even feel like starting from scratch because I felt like once I done the letterbox job, I was like, right, this is the start. That's it. And I didn't think this is so daunting. I'm starting from day one again. Like I'm going to have to try to build it up and all of that, like self doubt. I was like, oh, actually, this is not too bad. I've just moved in. There's no rush. And then, yeah, within a week or a month, it was either a week or a month, can't remember exactly, but I had quite a few people inquire, book in, and then, yeah, it just blew up pretty much.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I like how you said that as well. So that's on me for phrasing the question that way. But I think it's a good reminder as well, even if you are taking a pause, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're starting from scratch again because you started from experience and you know that you could get clients in. It would just be in a different capacity this time and maybe something that was more sustainable for you and also the clients where you could set up that space and like you said, go from your lounge room and into your room and be there for them. One of the things that I love most about your social media posts is how honest and great they are. And you have some that are very educational and informative, and then you have some that are really lighthearted and fun. And one of the ones that sticks in my mind is where you show how you're greeting your customers and you're not all dolled up or anything like that. You're just in comfy clothes and things. And I thought that is just so cool and refreshing to see because sometimes you feel that you need to get really dressed up for an appointment. And there are some days where you just don't really want to. And I think the fact that you set the tone by just being comfortable yourself is so refreshing and so awesome. So is there a story behind that or is it just something that kind of happened unintentionally and then you've just stuck with it?
Kind of like what you said, if I went to my own appointments and stuff, I always thought, right, I've really got to look well and make sure I'm moisturized, my eyebrows look done. Even though if I'm going to the eyebrow appointment, make sure I just pluck a few just in case they judge me. And it came from a place where I want my clients to be able to walk in if they're rolled out of bed, from the gym, from work, any scenario, and they'd feel relaxed and welcome. So honestly, half the time I've got clients, I'm in my partner's shirts, the daggiest trackies, odd socks, my hair's in a top bun, and I'm like, hey, how are you? What's new? So I think it's just also from me being a little bit too lazy to get dressed myself. 'Cause, you know, in the afternoon, after my clients are done, I'll go have dinner, I'll sit on the couch a bit, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and I will go straight to bed like that.
Love it. Just being in comfy clothes as well. It means that you can just focus on delivering the best service. It's not about being someone that you're not, you're just being you. And
Mhm.
I think if I went to an appointment and I met someone and they were just in the clothes that I would normally wear around the house, like this is me getting dressed up for the podcast recording. And I actually just realized that we're literally wearing very similar shirts, which is so funny. It's only taken me like half an
So
hour to
this is
realize
me
that.
getting dressed up. I brush my hair
Yeah.
and put nice clothes on.
This is us making an effort, not saying that we don't normally, but it's
Mm.
just, it's funny how it kind of changes over time and you just get used to just wanting to be comfortable. And I think that's just so refreshing to see that and knowing that if you are having a day where you want to go out straight away and just be in my comfy clothes, that I can do that and there's no judgment. And again, I just think that's a testament to the space that you create for your clients.
Yeah, it is nice, especially when I'm a clients are like, "Oh, I'm coming in my pajamas. I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Girl, I'm already in my pajamas. Come on in."
Let's compare.
Yeah, like, "Where'd you buy yours from?" And they're like, "Oh, Temu." And I'm like, "Oh, mine is Shein."
I love it. I just think that's really nice because it's also just a form of self care. Like you're just adding that extra layer where you
Mhm.
can just relax as much as you need to. And you don't have to overthink it. You can just go somewhere and get what you need out of that session too. And with that, I'm probably jumping over a little bit, but I know a few months ago you manifested something very, very incredible, which was a spot in a workshop. And apologies
Mhm.
if I am calling it something wrong. You are more than welcome to correct me. So you manifested that spot, and I just want to know how you found it, how you brought it to fruition, and how it felt when you were sitting there and then got your certificate of completion for it.
Yeah, it was wild. It's like it was less than 24 hours till she called out like the winner of the like free workshop. I did all my body sculpting training online because I had a fresh baby, so I'm not going anywhere. And even though I did really well and I passed everything, and even she said I did amazing, I still wanted to try upskill. There was things that I was like, okay, well, I know I'm doing this great, but I could do it better. I could make it more comfortable for my clients. There was just so many things that I could do better that I wanted to. So I actually said to my partner, it was crazy. I said to my partner a few weeks prior, I'm like, look, I really want to do one of her workshops, like in-person workshops, to even though I know it all, it's just she shows us different methods in person. I'm a very hands-on learner, so it's easier for me to learn and absorb new knowledge by watching and then doing. So I was like, look, I'm going to just start saving up. I'm just going to put a little bit of money aside every fortnight or after every client, and hopefully I can do it. It only opens up a few spots every couple months. So I think she was like, this is the last one of the year. And I was like, great. Like, this is freaking me out because I hadn't saved up enough for it. So I was like, right, I'm going to have to wait till next year. And then next year, who knows what the year's going to bring.
Yeah.
So she put up a thing saying, I've got one seat left. I want to give back to my students. That's the word. I'm going to give back to my students. Put your name down, write why you want it and how you think it can help you. And I did it, and it was not even 24 hours till she called it out. I was like, right, I really want this. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do better. So I sat next to my machine and I got I love little Buddhas. So I got him out and I put him around, and then I
Oh.
got my singing bowl and I was like, I'm going to manifest this. So I was doing my singing bowl, and in my head, I was like, I'm going to win. Yeah, the very next day, she Instagram DM'd me. She was like, babe, you won. She's like, I haven't announced it yet, but you won. I'm like, no way. No, you're joking. I don't believe you. And she was like, babe, is this your name? And she showed me on and I was like, oh my God, that's me. So I won it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So as soon as I hopped off the phone to her, I rang my mum and I was like, you'd never believe it. I won. And she's like, that's amazing. I'm on my way to work. Talk to you later. I'm like, can't wait to rant. See you later. And then my partner's at work, called him, didn't answer, messaged him, didn't answer. I Snapchatted him, Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and then he finally responded. I was like, I won. He's like, that's amazing. I'll talk to you later. So I was like, great. And I was like, oh my God, it's in the day. It was a middle of the week kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is stressful. I think it was a Monday. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a Monday. And I'm like, great. I have no one to watch my son because my partner works Monday to Friday. My mum works like every day, but Wednesdays and Sundays are her day off. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I've got no one. So I started freaking out. And then I rang my mum again. I was like, I don't know what to do. I want it. I have to go. I really want to go. Like, this is for my business. And she's like, oh, I'll just swap a day. And then she came up and stayed Sunday night and then spent all of Monday with him. So I could go
Oh.
and really take it in without worrying about, is he okay or not? So I'm very lucky.
That is amazing. And what a beautiful way to have manifested it, because I remember seeing your post about it and saying, I'm going to win this. And I was like, oh, yes, like good luck. Like you totally got it. And I think it's so amazing when you enter something and you've already claimed it and you know that it's
Mhm.
yours. You're just waiting for confirmation. And then even when it does happen, even though you know it's yours, you're like, are you messing with me right now? Like,
Yeah, it's like, I don't believe you. What do you mean?
yeah.
Me? No way. But even though, like, I even went to bed that night thinking, I'm going to win this. And I had a dream I won it. I woke up thinking, yeah, I'm winning it. So, like, I fully 100% believed it was already mine.
Which is absolutely incredible. And then you get to upskill and do some self improvement as well. And
Mhm.
kudos to your mum being available to watch your little bubba so you could do it. I think it's really amazing when you've got people, and like as we've chatted about previously, how your network is your net worth. And it's incredible when you've got supportive people in your corner who can see your vision, your potential, and help facilitate that so you don't miss out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I owe a lot to my mum. She's like, honestly, she's my top of my inspiration list. Like everything I do is because she's always cheered me on. Like I could turn around and be like, I want to join a circus. And she's like, cool, I've got a clown outfit. Let's go start it, you know? Like she would not say that's stupid or anything. She's always there for me. So I'm very grateful to have her as my mum.
Oh, that is so sweet. And I think everyone needs at least one person like that in their lives, especially when you're coming up with big goals and dreams for yourself. It can feel
Mhm.
incredibly scary to admit that, not only to yourself, but also to other people to say, hey, I know that I'm capable of achieving something more or different. And if you're met with that's so silly, then you're just going to shut down and probably talk yourself out of it. Whereas if you've got people that are like, yeah, I can totally see you doing that, or that's amazing. What can we do to support you? Then it gives you such a solid foundation to keep trying to keep growing and evolving.
Mhm. Oh, 100%. 100% agree with you there.
One of the things that I really want to switch up and ask you now is, what's something that you wish more people knew about trying to balance motherhood and running a business?
I think what I wish more people knew, especially with the business side, is that I will get back to you with your messages as soon as I can. I'm a mother, so my baby is always going to come first. So it might be an hour, it might be 10 minutes, it might be 2 minutes, it could be the next day. I'm always going to get back to a client, but please give me grace for time because some days I don't get any time. I always explain to my clients as well. They know my little one's home. My partner looks after him when I work. You will hear him in your appointment. That's why I usually book facials on a Sunday so then they can go out and be quiet because you will hear him. He likes to sing, he likes to shout, he likes to throw toys. So I think, yeah, that's like the main one is like, I hope you like kids because you're going to hear them.
Have you found that you've had to set some boundaries around that in terms of client expectations and how quick they want you to respond?
I definitely have to have set boundaries with that, but also on days that they want to book when I can't actually book them in, or sometimes they want to book during the day, and I'm like, well, unfortunately, I only work from 5:15 p.m. onwards on X days. Please let me know what works best for you. And they're like, well, why not? Why can't you just have your kids in the room? And I'm like, well, no, because he's not allowed in this room at all. Like he'll like walk in. I'm like, all right, out you go. Like this is mum's room because this is my workspace. For example, my partner's a mechanic. He's not going to go work on someone's car and have his baby with him while he's working in the car because your attention's not going to be 100% on your client. Your attention's not going to be, oh yeah, let me just have him touch stuff, maybe pulls things out that I potentially don't want him to use or it's too dangerous. So I have had to set a lot of boundaries in that kind of sense. So my set hours and set days are there for a reason.
Did it feel uncomfortable to do that at first, or was it something that felt like a weight was lifted because you didn't have to manage those conversations because you could draw, uh, I don't want to say a hard line, but you could set that tone?
It was at the beginning, like the first few times, it was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm a bad person. I feel like they're not going to want to book with me now because I'm not bending to their whim. But nowadays, I'm like, it is written into my policies or, you know, it's written into my booking systems and stuff like that. It came to a point where I was like, right, this is my second love. My first love is my son. Like nothing's going to change that. So at the end of the day, it was like, I just don't care anymore. As harsh as that sounds.
No, I know exactly what you mean, because you do reach that point where you go, I have set, these are the hours that work for me. And while you understand that it may not work for every client, there are other options. You're not the only person that they could go to for it. And it's either they make a compromise if they would like to book in with you, or they go elsewhere until they can find a time that works to book in with you.
And another thing as well that when I first opened up in my home was no shows. And that was the worst because my little one was maybe 4 or 5 months at the point. So I had very limited availability for one client in the evening or so. And to have a no-show was gut-wrenching, and I felt horrible about it because I could have booked someone else in or just message me and just say, "Hey, like, I'm running late," or, "Hey, can we change it to another day?" I'm so reasonable when it comes to that because I know as a mother, some days I have to reschedule stuff on a whim. Like, he might wake up with a snotty nose and I'm like, "Right, I can't go meet any of my friends out, or we can't go out." Like, I know how it is. After that, I put a very hard, like, 50% deposit down, and then once that's done, you'll book me some fans. Because if you no show with a 50% booking down, then that's on you. And at least I still get somewhat paid for
Yeah.
my time.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing as well. People don't necessarily see what goes on behind the scenes, whether you're a mum or not, but there's all the prep work that goes into it, especially if you do have a partner that's working and you're trying to navigate those hours and being a
Mhm.
tag team and going, okay, can you watch our baby now so I can do what I need to do? And you've got to get organized, probably eat some food, psych yourself up, even if it's
Yeah,
something that you love, but you've got to get into that mental
that
frame.
headspace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that had space. When you don't have a no-show, then it really throws you, I feel, because you've psyched yourself up for that appointment and you've got everything ready. And then you go, how long do I wait before I go, okay, I can go and do something else? And would you find that you would sometimes like message the clients and just say, hey, where are you? And they just wouldn't respond as well?
Well, yeah, yeah. I've messaged clients before I had my set policies. It was 15-minute wait time, and after 15 minutes your appointment's cancelled. So in that 15-minute wait time I messaged you like, "Hey, are you stuck in traffic?" or, "Hey, are you on your way yet?" And I would get plenty of just nothing. And then get this, one time a girl messaged me 3 days later saying, "Oh, sorry, I forgot. Can I come tonight?" "No, sorry, I'm not working tonight." And you lost a deposit. But I've also had clients message me 10 minutes after the appointment being like, "Oh, I'm stuck at work till 7 o'clock. Can I come then?" And I'm like, "Well, that's too late. Your appointment would have been finished an hour prior to that, and then I'm getting my son to bed." But now I've got, with my policy, is like, if you're even a minute late with no communication prior, then your appointment is cancelled. And that's helped a lot. I've had clients ring me on their appointment, be like, "I'm just trying to find parking." I'm like, "That's okay. I'll meet you at the front." So it's definitely helped in that kind of aspect of separating the clients and potential clients I have to actually the ones who want to book in and commit to me, and the ones who weren't really like that serious about it.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think that's really good when you can have those policies in place that serve you, but also help you attract the clients that you do want in, especially if you
Mhm.
do get some people that may be continuous no shows and you're trying to be accommodating and reschedule them. And then they keep not necessarily letting you down, but they're not valuing your service and your time. And you're having to constantly chase them to be like, are you actually coming today? And
Mhm.
can I actually use this space for a client that I know is actually going to come and wants to be here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely had so many clients like that. And in the end, I was like, "If you want to reschedule again, you have to give me a deposit." And then after I said that, they're like, "Oh, never mind." And then that was it with them. So, yeah, definitely did separate the clients who I want to attract versus the ones I don't really want to attract at all.
And without trying to put words in your mouth, is that something that you would recommend to other beauticians or service based businesses that are starting out to think about the policies that they want to have in place and not being afraid of starting out with those?
100%. I have gone through different ways to have my policies, and it actually started off with my lashes when I was doing lashes, where I would have free models for content and like no booking, like no deposits, free models. Now, I now look back on and think, wow, I was an idiot. Like, why did I do that? Because that's not how I run it now. But then by doing that, I then learned I'm not doing free content models unless I'm getting something in exchange, like social media wise, where I'm like, okay, I want someone to come in and we'll do a swap, a service swap where you promote me, I do a service for you. And I love doing them, but I'm not doing anything for free unless you're my mum or like no deposits, because the deposits are the main thing. You got to think about like this is your business, this is your income. If you have someone who doesn't respect you, then why should you respect them as a client and have them come into your space and not take it seriously.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I feel like that is such valuable information for any service-based businesses out there, because it can feel really hard to set those boundaries. And it almost feels, as frustrating as it is for you to not set them, to just let it lie because you think, oh, that's going to repel everyone. But in
Mhm.
your experience, that's the furthest thing from the truth. It's just weeding out the people that don't necessarily respect procedures. And majority of the time, all of your clients will be compassionate and understand that there's a reason behind what you're implementing. I've seen that through observation on social media where businesses do, they start to implement a no-show policy or a cancellation policy. And I just think that's probably been a long time coming. They're probably feeling quite uncomfortable that they're having to put this in place now, but they're met with such compassion. And I think that's quite refreshing to see, because if big businesses can do it, then small business owners should as well, because you have a lot more to lose. Like you said, it's your livelihood and it's your income, and you deserve to have that and not have your time wasted because it's so valuable.
And I'm not like saying it's every client, like it is 5% out of 100, like, it is just that little minority that used to changes happen. But then you have the great clients, the ones that you want, the ones that you want to attract that are happy to pay that. Like I have clients who pay in full months in advance. So then they know that they can just come here, get it done, and walk out and not have to be like, how much do I owe you or stuff like that.
They just want to come in, have it prepaid so they can enjoy the experience, and then just leave in that state of relaxation without being like, oh, where have I put my card? So I guess that could be potentially considered as one of the low points in terms of navigating how you can deal with no-shows and clients that don't necessarily respect your time or the policies, and that's been created as a result of that. But what about the highlights? Like, what has been the best thing for you by becoming a business owner? And what changes have you seen in yourself?
It's a good question. I think the best thing as a business owner is the fact that I have so many returning clients. I have clients who book in every month on the dot. So they like, book me in and they pre-book a few months in advance. And I think that's just amazing that I have that connection. And if you were to ask 2022 Mackenzie, who's just started her business, who had no idea how to run a business, like in 2025, you're going to have repeat clients. You're going to have clients who you're going to share happy news with, and they're going to be so happy for you. And like, all of what I'm currently having, trust me, wouldn't have believed you at all. I think that's the biggest high, is that I have clients who respect my time, my business, and who I'm becoming friends with as well. I recently announced my second pregnancy, and I had two clients who I've had since the very beginning, who I wanted to tell in person before I announced it on social media. So I put my ultrasound picture in my aftercare
Oh,
bookcase. And as they walked in, they were talking to me. And one of them was like, oh my God, gave me a big hug, was so happy. And then the whole time we chatted. And then another one, she walked in, she was talking about, she did something crazy to her hair. So I was like, oh, I love your hair. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. And then she took her shoes and went to walk in the bed. And I was like, do you like my bookcase? Like my glass bookcase? Do you like how I've got everything showcased? And she looked and she was like, oh yeah. And she's like, wait. And she
wait a minute.
screamed. She was screaming and jumping up and down. She was so happy for me. And I think that's one of the best highs, especially of this year, was that I can share my exciting news, even if it's personal, and my clients are going to be like, this is amazing.
That is so wonderful. It's just so nice when you can share that news with people and they're so happy and excited for you on the back of that incredible news and the exciting chapter that's unfolding for you. That's where you've decided to take a bit of a step back in your business so you can make sure that you're
Mhm.
taking care of yourself. Was that reassuring, knowing that your clients will have complete understanding of that you're not going to be able to do the hours that you're currently doing at the moment?
They were really understanding, which I'm very lucky for. But in saying that, I used to work, like, so 2 months ago, I was working majority of the week, and then usually just the weekend I'd have off, or 1 or 2 days here and there. But in saying that, first trimester wasn't fun. I was just tired, exhausted. So I actually cut down to 2 days a week, and I'm going to continue with that for as long as I can before I go on my maternity leave and shut down shop for a while. So they're already getting accustomed to my new hours and days and all that. So luckily I was able to do that, and then like, "Hey, I'm pregnant." And they're like, "Oh, it makes sense. This is amazing."
So it's for a good reason. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And again, I think that's really awesome that you've been able to make that decision that's right for you. And just to tie it back to human design as well, Mackenzie is a projector. And one of the things that we were talking about before you had shared on social media that you were pregnant again, which is so exciting, is the hours of work and sometimes how an 8 to 5 job or even just working that within your own business is not necessarily the best thing for projectors because you tend to work better with smaller bursts of energy. And one of the things that we were talking about was self-care, and that's one of the ways that you could take care of yourself a little bit more is just blocking out your time, maybe having a few hours that you work in the morning and then taking a break to rest and then working in the afternoon or whatever it may be. And I think that ties in so beautifully to making sure you're taking care of yourself while you're pregnant as well.
Like, everything you said in that session was so correct, and the advice you gave me, like what you just said then, has made such a difference. Like, I have more energy. I'm not as grumpy as well. I was very grumpy. Like, I was always grumpy. Like, even if I was happy, I was grumpy. So that has made such a difference as well. And I'm not pushing myself as much as I was. Like, oh, I have to work 5 days this week, or I have to work 4 days this week. My mindset shifted a lot with the second pregnancy because I'm now not just looking after my son and myself. It's now my son, myself, and this baby. So I've really got to slow down, like take a breath and not push a day. And I was like, yeah, we're just doing sit down activities today because I'm too tired. And that is the best thing.
Yeah,
So
which is
yeah, that's
amazing.
been,
And I think that's the thing, like giving yourself permission to do that and not thinking you have to be constantly doing more and more. Just to wrap up the episode, I know that you have some incredible social media posts and you're very creative. And that also led you to creating some incredible resources for other beauticians and service based businesses. And I was really loving flicking through that when we met at the event because Mackenzie had information about her business and also the workbooks. And I was looking at it super fascinated. And being a manager, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do like beautician stuff, which don't worry, I will not do because that is not like my zone of genius whatsoever. I will leave it to the genuine professionals because I'll probably accidentally wax someone's eyebrow off and just leave them with like one. Um, and no one needs that. But I just loved what you were creating and just how well you were presenting all the information. So would you like to share that with the listeners?
yeah, sure. So it's actually been a while since I've like read through my own stuff, but I did create a few workbooks. There was some that I actually created back in like 23, which was for lash artists. For example, it's like 110 captions to use for Instagram that are gonna give you viewers and stuff like that. And then I thought at the beginning of this year, I was not learning the algorithm of Instagram, but I was paying more attention to what was pushed out, what wasn't pushed out, what was doing the best post wise. So I created a short ebook. So I did that to help businesses who are just starting out or even just needing that little extra push to be like, what's working for Instagram, when to do it. My ebooks and stuff were created to help like newbies in the industry, to help them understand a bit more of like what's going on and what to expect and how to get their name out there.
Do it in a way that feels right for them.
Yeah, and that's what one of my ebooks teaches as well, is before you can even do anything, there's a list of stuff you can like go through, like what is your name, but also make sure you Google that name to make sure no one else has it and all that kind of stuff. So it gives you the very first basic steps to ensure that you are you before you can proceed to be who you are.
That is so amazing. And with the customers that have purchased your ebook, how has it felt seeing their content up level and change as a result of that?
It's been great to see it. You can see it in their post as well. After, like, they've changed a lot, and you can see that it is attention grabbing. The captions are like knowledgeable, and it's really great just seeing how my little ebook has helped so many people.
I just want to say thank you so much for being on the podcast, Mackenzie. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you about all things business, motherhood, and how you're there to support your clients, but also the industry with the before and after transformations. I think it's incredible, everything that you're doing. And I know that your business is just going to go from strength to strength.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for inviting me to come on here as well. Like, this is my first podcast I've ever spoken on, and you made me feel so relaxed and happy. And I've genuinely enjoyed talking to you about everything. And I enjoy talking to people, but sometimes it's awkward telling your strengths and your highs and lows, because it's just one of those things that we don't really talk about often in life, is it? So
No.
being able to come on here and share that with you and your listeners is amazing.
And that's a wrap on another episode. If this one resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future conversations, and share it with someone else who's learning to trust herself again. You can connect with me on Instagram, Tash, where I share more about self-trust, personal growth, and human design. If you'd like to go deeper, you can explore my books and offerings, all designed to support you as you build self-trust and step into the next version of yourself with confidence. Until next time, please remember that you are not too much or too little. You're just you. Keep choosing yourself.